Hey guys, before I start the video today, I just want to give a quick announcement. I am so incredibly excited to announce that I'm officially a partner with Facebook Gaming, or Facebook. Going to be streaming now 5 days a week over on Facebook. I'll include a link for you guys if you want to tune in. I'll also be hosting 10K tournaments 7 days a week and streaming them 5 days a week. So again, all that information will be in the description below. Hope to see you guys there. In the meantime, enjoy the video, guys.
And I'm not fit to touch the hem of your garment.
Hey guys, what's going on? It's Ash here coming at you today in Clash Royale. Today we're going to review the top 5 most OP decks inside the entire meta right now, bar none, in the opinion of yours truly. So this is the most hated deck in the game right now. I couldn't do a whole video on this deck. I can just do one replay, but I have to share it because I wouldn't be doing my job if I didn't let you guys know how to play this from a pro. Deck number 2 is going to be a lot less of a hated deck, at least in my opinion. It's the Expo Cycle Deck with Tesla. Tesla's so strong right now, guys. Deck number 3 is going to be the Mortar bait deck, another one that I hate, so it's hate, love, hate so far. We've talked about this deck in the past here on CWA. We'll talk about it again today, at least for one replay. Deck number 4 is going to be the new Hog Cycle Deck. By the way, any of these decks are great from Arena 9 all the way to Arena 12, and we want to get you guys there as fast as possible. Oh, by the way, guards should be substituted for Goblin Gang if you have them at level in terms of your range in your arena, right, wherever you are in trophies. Otherwise, I would go ahead and sub in the Goblin Gang as we initially saw there. And then deck number 5 is going to be this Golem beatdown deck, believe it or not, even more so than the Lumberjack Golem deck and the, what else is the Night Witch Golem deck and the Poison Golem deck. This actually has the highest win percentage on ladder. Remember, this episode is all about trophies and ladder and getting you guys to Legendary Arena, or if you're in Legendary Arena, getting you even higher. By the way, where are you guys right now on ladder? Let me know in the comments, because I like to know, as you guys know, I read all my comments, or as many as I possibly can. I like to know, get a flavor of where my audience is coming from. It helps me kind of construct future episodes. Now, by the way, I do have to give a shout out to Three Musketeers Giant and also Lava Loon. Both of those decks are right on the cusp, in my opinion, of being top 5. You could definitely make a case either of them belong there. I especially am a fan of Three Musketeers Giant, but I think that just kind of it speaks to my own play style and my own preferences, rather than just the win percentages and what decks are actually really dominating right now. So I went with really the chalk here, what I thought was the highest win percentages, and I also kind of aggregated the data from Arena 9, 10, 11, and 12. If you guys are in Arena like 6 or 7, this probably isn't the video for you, but you can go ahead and make some adjustments and learn some stuff from this gameplay anyway. I know I definitely have a wide variety of audience in terms of the arenas that they're in. So, at the top, you'll notice the first deck. It is so annoying to go against. It is definitely the baitiest deck out there right now. More so than log bait ever was. More so than any spell bait that we've ever seen in the history of the game. This deck has 5 cards, all meant to bait out your zap spell. The opponent here, Alibaba, has log and zap and poison in his deck. He has a deck built to counter this deck, and even he can't do it. He almost pulls it off here. This is a very tight match, but he doesn't. And it just goes to show you guys, when you're playing against this deck, you have to be very, very cautious of when you're using your zap. You have to be willing to take some damage and save your zap for when you really need it, or if your deck can cycle fast enough, you can use your zap and then quickly start cycling, right? You should never be in a position where you're using your zap and you have nothing to play. You have nothing to cycle, you have nothing to do, because then that's when you die to this deck, or lose. That was kind of morbid, Ash. Way to go, idiot. So here comes a Skeleton Barrel. Now, a good player using this deck, and you guys, that's what we want. Everybody wants to be a good player using these decks here. What you should do is, when you know your opponent has a hard counter in their hand, such as log or zap, you should be rather aggressive at the bridge, playing a solo Skeleton Barrel, playing a solo Spear Goblins or Goblin Gang. Okay, basically, again, Bats, Spear Goblin, Goblin Gang, Skeleton Barrel, Inferno Dragon, 5 cards that can bait out the opponent's zap. So what you want to do is always put your opponent in the position, even if they have a lot of counters like this matchup. You can get chip damage and keep getting chip damage, keep getting chip damage, and then lean on your deck defensively because you have a defensive answer with the Mega Knight, with your Swarm units, and with your Inferno Dragon to anything your opponent could possibly throw at you. So here we do take a lot of damage on that right lane. We kind of get a poison baited out of the opponent, but you know, Alibaba, again, we talked about this, he has log and zap and poison, so we need to do more than just get a poison out of him. We're gonna go ahead and cycle Inferno Dragon in the back. You might have noticed on the previous sequence, we put an Inferno Dragon down on the right side and the opponent immediately attacked on the left. That was by design. That wasn't a mistake. Nice Goblin Gang there. Avoided and baited out a zap, the log. That wasn't a mistake. We want the opponent to split their damage with this deck. So giving them sometimes an invitation to hit the lane that they're not targeting is a good idea. And you guys saw the split-second finish there. That miner was 1 hit away. Didn't finish the job for Alibaba. Shout out to Angelica Gonzalez. That is my YouTube sponsor of the day. Thank you, Angelica, and thank you to all my YouTube sponsors. So, again, guys, just to kind of recap that first deck and that first match. When you're playing it, be aggressive when they have the counter in hand. And then when they don't have the counter in hand, try to tactfully mount a big push, kind of unload. But when you're aggressive, only use 1 card at a time. So here we go. Speaking of bait, we're going to stay with Sunlight here on the top again, guys. He's playing the Mortar bait deck. This is a really annoying deck. I've recently done 2 reviews on this deck, so I'll link both of them in the description below if you guys want to see some really high Ultimate Champion gameplay, as this is too, and a really more in-depth review on this deck. But essentially, and by the way, we're going to go against Pompeo, who's playing the deck that we just reviewed in the first replay. So this ought to be fun. Pompeo, obviously, he's like a household name, especially on this channel. Pompeo Pro v Pro coming soon, guys. Trying to schedule these is more difficult than you might think. So we'll fast forward a little bit here. Basically, we're just going to try to, keep the opponent on their toes. This is the same kind of a feel as the first deck in some ways. Not in every way, obviously. It's a lot different of a deck, but we're going to try to catch the opponent without any good counters in hand. And we actually get a lock with this, this Mortar here. And Sunlight does a very smart thing. Sunlight decides not to support that Mortar. He knows that he took a lot of damage there, but he probably would have taken more had he supported, that Mortar. So sometimes the more you play these decks, the more you get this kind of keen awareness on when enough is enough, right? A good block on that miner there, and you're gonna see here, guys, every time Pompeo tries to play that Mega Knight, he's going to be stymied by Sunlight, who's going to save the Knight every time for that Mega Knight and then support it. So, Pompeo never actually gets to the tower with his Mega Knight, even though Knight is really our only counter here. Again, there's Knight, played, boom, right at the bridge there, distracting that Mega Knight, and here we go, another aggressive push, and you can see, we're getting most of our damage just in small little pushes here. We're going to play things safe, no need to rush things here. We can really, at this point, well, I guess we only do have the log and the zap in this deck, and that's another important aspect of this deck. And part of the reason Sunlight's deck, the Mortar bait, has log and zap in it is to combat this specific deck. That's part of the reason it's so good right now, is you do have those 2 answers and a plenty of swarm units yourself. Now, of course, you guys know that the skeleton barrel itself does death damage, so that can be used also in conjunction, in combination with your zap to take out swarm units. You have a lot of defensive versatility in this deck. Do we get a hit with the skeleton? No, we don't. We just need a zap and a log or a spear goblin. That will do the job, and we did take down that left tower. Another close match at the top of ladder, but these are decks and strategies that you guys can implement and use no matter where you are in your threshold of ladder. These decks also do good against Royal Giant and Elite Barbarians, which, 2 of the most hated cards are actually being seen a lot less lately, even in those trouble areas. Don't get me wrong, They're still prevalent. They're still there, and they're still annoying when you face them. But it's kind of one of those things. Anyway, let's move into this replay here. So this is a match where I make a million mistakes. And yeah, I'm the player. I'm the pro for this match, guys. I apologize. I'm letting you down. I know. Unsub, unsub, unsub. I can hear you all from here, and it's killing me. I don't ask you guys to subscribe. I ask you to unsubscribe. I'm very unorthodox here on CWA Mobile Gaming. So dislike and unsub, guys. Go ahead. Hit it hard. Hit it hard. Smack that dislike button. So that was a pretty cool move that I pulled there with a tornado, not gonna lie, but it all goes downhill from here, okay? So I did use the tornado to pull that princess into the Mega Minion. We one-shot the princess. I got a hit on that tower. You know, this opponent actually has a really strong counter deck to me. I don't have any spells, any big spells in my deck at all, and he has 3 Musketeers and P.E.K.K.A. to counter my Golem. So in my defense, you know, it's a very difficult matchup. So everything's going fine right now. I used the Golem into the P.E.K.K.A. to just buy me time to support that push. So everything's fine. And it's really here where I start to just, you know, do what I do. Make a ton of mistakes, right? So here, mistake number 1. Up until now, perfect. Mistake number 1 is, why did I use the Prince there too? I knew, I thought my opponent might play the Dark Prince. So I think that's why I used the Prince along with the Dark Prince, but I basically just threw away 5 Elixir, and that's really going to come back to haunt me. So now I'm going to play the Baby Dragon too early, okay? So not what we're looking for here. I play a little bit of light defense in the right lane, Tornado, Zap, Dark Prince. I knew I was going to lose a tower, but I didn't want him to get the 3 crown on me. So now, here I make another mistake. Look at that Musketeer, guys. Look at the Musketeer. I should have played that Mega Minion on the Musketeer, but instead I play it, you know, at the bridge. You know, he targets, is it a he or she, the Mega Minion? I guess he. He targets the P.E.K.K.A., does some damage there, but now I'm in trouble here, guys. I got 3 Musketeers, I got a Princess, I got a Dark Prince, I got everything in the kitchen sink coming at me here. I play the Baby Dragon 1 hair too early, he dies in a second, and now I'm really in trouble here. 3 Musketeers, a P.E.K.K.A., a Princess hammering away at my left tower. I play a Dark Prince, I get one of those Musketeers down, but man, I am in trouble here. I take a big hit to this Dark Prince, I have a P.E.K.K.A. incoming on my tower, I cycle to a Prince over here in the corner. Prince is actually going to do a good job getting rid of that P.E.K.K.A., thankfully with just a hair of HP left. But look at that Princess. She's almost taken down my left tower. And now it's 3 Musketeers. Oh my god. I should do this more often, guys. Show you some mediocre gameplay. I almost lose my King Tower, but Baby Dragon. Ah, Baby Dragon MVP there on that left tower. Thank you, Baby Dragon. What would I do without you? All right, let's go into the next replay here. And this is going to be Samuel playing this Hog deck. And we talked about this, guys. This is really the new Hog meta. Hog is actually, believe it or not in a great place in the current meta. It's not that it's weak per se. It's just been so much stronger than it is right now. So you know, it's just... This deck is good. This deck is a really good deck with Hog. And of course, like I told you guys, coming into this, if you do end up having the guards under-leveled, go ahead and sub in the Goblin Gang. You'll be totally fine. So here we go. Samuel's going to go ahead and play a Hog at the bridge here. He's going to get some chip damage. 2 hits with that Hog. Mega Knight countering. And we're going to save that Ice Golem every time that Mega Knight is coming our way, of course, comboed with the Inferno Dragon. Now, the opponent Censor opts not to use the Zap spell there. So probably a good decision on his part, and we have our Zap ready and loaded. We might need it here against this Inferno Dragon, but check this guards. What a beautiful guard play. Knowing he's going to use the log for the skeleton barrel, he uses the guards, distracting the Inferno Tower. Really, really nice job there. Nice work by Samuel. And again, he's getting his damage in little spurts here. He's not necessarily getting that Hog to the tower and taking the tower down. Instead, we're playing defense, we're being very smart, and then we're getting the Hog hits in where we can. One thing that you guys want to know, if there's one takeaway with this deck, is don't be super aggressive with the Hog. It's not like, it's a very, very fast deck, but it's not like the decks of Hog that we knew in yesteryear. You know, let's get a little reminiscent here, guys. Let's light a fire and just curl up together. This is a really monster push here, by the way. It's Mega Knight, it's Spirit Goblins, Inferno Dragon, Miner, Bats, everything coming at us here. We take a lot of heavy damage, but we thankfully, we were able to kite that Mega Knight away. So as I was saying, guys, the one lesson here with this deck is we're not going to be super aggressive. We're not going to start out with a Hog Rider. We're not going to play the Hog Rider every time we have it. It's different now. We want to play defense and then use the Hog on the counterattack. So that's the tactic we want to use with that deck. And now it's Marco. Oh, Marco. He might be the best Expo player in the game right now. And this might be the best Expo deck in the game right now, at least in my opinion. Look at his push, for example. A Skeleton Barrel. He had Bats to deal with. He had a Mega Knight. He had Inferno Dragon. When all said and done, how much damage does he take? Few hundred. That's it. That's all. That was a really good defensive sequence there from Marco, really strong out the gate, and it shows you, at least in my opinion, I don't know if you guys agree or disagree with me here, but I do honestly think, great Ice Golem by the way, I do honestly think that Tesla is really strong right now. I think that it probably, should I say it? I think it probably needs a nerf, but I don't want it to be nerfed, so I'm not going to say that because I think it's a great card. It actually, it's awesome. It's awesome that Tesla is viable. Poor Cannon, though. Like, what happened to Cannon? When's the last time you saw a Cannon? I guess some Hog decks still use it, but here we go. This is a beautiful Expo here. Sensor used his Mega Knight thinking that he could just zap and retarget that Expo, and then he didn't zap. He kept holding off on the zap because he kept thinking he could take it down with the Inferno Dragon, but we cycled everything. Ice Spirit, Archers, Skeletons at first to distract that Inferno Dragon from taking out the Expo. And then we use a Fireball against the Mega Knight. We do take a lot of heavy damage. But, you know, Sensor has the hard counter here, really. He has the Mega Knight. He shouldn't be losing this match. But he does, because he played that Mega Knight in back of the King Tower, which is fine, because he could use a Zap to retarget. But he wasn't able to use that Zap quickly enough. And check this out, guys. One thing about that last Inferno, did I call it an Inferno Tower earlier too? If I did, I apologize, guys. You're used to it by now, me confusing cards, right? One thing I want to tell you guys about this deck is it's fast. You can play the Expo, you can cycle the Expo, you can cycle spells if you need to. And the second thing is, use the Tesla in creative ways. Don't be afraid to use a Tesla against a graveyard. Don't be afraid to use a Tesla in front of your Princess Tower, directly in front of it, if you need to, like we saw there. So use the Tesla, and don't be afraid to put down a Tesla if you have nothing else to play. A preemptive Tesla. So those are some takeaways from that deck. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Really had a fun time bringing it to you today. I felt like this episode was actually really better than I thought it would be, so that's good. Huge shout out to Bren Chong. Thank you for everything you do, Bren, and check out his information in the description below. And make sure you follow me on Facebook so you can see my daily live streams and see that mediocre gameplay on a regular basis. I will be hosting 10K tournaments 5 days or every single day on Plex Chat. So, and I'll be streaming them 5 days a week. So I look forward to seeing you guys. Thanks so much for watching. And as always, take care, guys.